of our center, and it's located in Westmont, New Jersey. I'm so happy that you joined us this evening in this time space that we are in. I have a message that I hope touches your higher self, because it's coming from my higher self. Anyway, tonight, as you know, we're on Facebook Live. This is also being videoed, so it's on YouTube, and also on our website, joyfulgathering.org. Our other events, Wednesday Night Healing, which is a meditation and a prayer treatment, that is on Zoom, and you'll find all this information on joyfulgathering.org. We also have a brand new class beginning, and it's based on the book by Marianne Williamson, Return to Love. And that starts June 30th at 7 p.m. All the information is on the website. You can sign up for that by emailing me, and that's on our website too, or calling me. So, while you're on the website, there's also a donate button. So if you feel like, if you're moved to donate and support us, we truly appreciate that. We appreciate the law of circulation that is always moving, giving and receiving. It's the same thing, right? So let's just start tonight the way we always do, by taking a really deep breath. And one more. We're going to breathe in unity. And exhale unity. Just feel the connection, feel that connection, because we are all connected. And today, I'd like to talk about the importance of belonging to a spiritual community locally, or it could be globally, because we're in a global community. And it's so important to check our spiritual health. We talk about our physical health, but our spiritual health. And this is what helps align us and keep us really healthy, is belonging to a community. I'm going to get into that tonight. But especially right now, with this pandemic, the World Health Crisis going on, with the protests about equality going on, so many different things are all going on at the same time. So to be connected spiritually is of utmost importance. Just listening to this talk this evening is a connection. It's a connection for me, and it's a connection for you. So we need to anchor ourselves in oneness, in unity, and be together as one human race. A oneness, a unity that New Thought, religious science has always talked about, but now more than ever, it is necessary that we establish this unified field. And being in a spiritual community, for myself, is the greatest gift I ever gave myself. So let us be the light. Let us be the light in a time of seeming darkness. Let us be the clarity when it looks like there is so much confusion going on. The love when we see or witness hate. Let us be the love. We do this within ourselves first. This is the place we begin, within ourselves, our own consciousness. And then we unite with others like we're doing right now, until we reach the tipping point. Tipping points are being reached in consciousness, in paradigms. And we are building that bridge right now that connects from one paradigm to another. And that old paradigm is no longer serving us. And what we are seeing, this what looks like chaos, has to take place. The old way of being must break down in order for that new paradigm to come forth. And we are on the bridge. We are on the bridge of one paradigm that is leading into this huge new way of being. And since we are spiritual beings having a human experience, let us support ourselves in a community that is filled with a spiritual inclusivity, a unity that supports us while we're having this human experience. We need that connection. I know I need that connection. I really do, and I believe that each and every one of us, for that spiritual health, it serves us to connect to something that is of a higher realm of being. So let us just deepen a little bit into what spirituality means. Well, to me, having an intimate relationship with the God of my understanding or of my being, a higher power. And for me personally, that feels like this divine energy. It feels like an energy, and when I meditate, I see that energy, and I know that it is a creative energy that has created all that is out of its own self. And so the other part is to take being in a spiritual community and being a spiritual person, taking full responsibility for our thoughts, our emotions, and our actions. Overall, we need to take responsibility over our lives. And then the third part of being a very spiritual person is to live our dream. I don't care what's going on in the world. I do care what's going on in the world, but to live our dream in spite of. Because we are, remember, we're on that bridge. We are into that new paradigm. We're not there yet, but we're getting there. So I'd like today to expand the idea of fearlessly being all that we came here to be. And we do this by looking at this deep spiritual truth. In order for us to be all that we came here to be, we cannot go it alone. We cannot go it alone. We were put on this earth to do great things together. Together. It is inherent in who we are and what we're made out of. Each and every one of us is made out of the same spiritual stuff. No one is left out. We are all spiritual beings. Everyone. This is the one human race. And in that realm of being that spiritual person or that spiritual person, there is a divine truth that flows through all of us. And since we believe we were created out of the oneness of all that is, we need to be supported in our human experience. So that when we leave this plane, and we all will, that eternal divinity that is flowing through us is alive, is eternal. So it doesn't make any difference what we look like on the outside once we leave these bodies behind. It is that eternal self. That's what we are connecting with right here and right now. And we may have many hands, but one heart. Bob Marley, to me, was a prophet. Bob Marley got it right. One love. And if you listen to the lyrics of his songs, they are incredible and they're spot on. But I'd like to start this evening with a story about an old African king who is dying. And he calls his children, their husbands, their wives, their relatives to be by his side. And he gives each of them a short, sturdy stick. And he says, break the stick, he told them. For some of them, it was fairly easy. For others, it was a little more difficult. But eventually, they all broke their stick. This is how it is when the soul goes it alone in this world. They all can be broken, said the elder. Next, the old man gave each of them another stick and some twine. And he said to them, now bind your sticks together in bundles of 2, 3, 4, 5, and tie them with the twine. As you might imagine, no one could break those bundles. Nobody, not even when there was 2 sticks tied together. Upon seeing this, the old man smiled and said, "We are strong when we stand with another soul. When we are with another, we cannot be broken. This is how I would like you to live after I'm gone." Isn't that so powerful? Together, we cannot be broken, and that's what we must remember, that we must unite so that we can express who we truly are when we're with another. Not only are we individually strong when we stand together, in truth, the community is necessary for us to be able to fulfill our purpose here on earth. We need one another to enhance God's experience of the divine experiencing itself. And I believe there can be no greater place to stand together than in a spiritual community, like-minded people, just open and receptive. Why do you think that I've been studying and taking classes with people for almost 30 years now, with other spiritual souls? Because I know it is the greatest gift that I could give to myself, to be in community. It is so important. My soul rejoices as it is in community. I know that I make better decisions. I feel happier knowing that we are all in this together and we support each other. And that's what I love about community. And what is it that makes a community spiritual? Because that whole concept of this concept is much bigger than a church of brick and mortar, okay? It is the consciousness of love, of unity, and spiritual truth. That's what a community is. That's what it's based on. Joyful Gathering Spiritual Center is where I choose to gather in community. You might have your church, your temple, or spiritual center. That's where we come physically. But right now, in absolute reality, we are aligning ourselves in a divine connection with a higher power, a creative genius that knows no boundaries, no separation. We must take care of that spiritual self. Each person, the spiritual center is where each person is respected, accepted, and loved as they are, just as they are, a safe place where you can just be who you are without judgment, no judgment. An environment where individuals' creativity is incubated and the authentic self expression is encouraged. It's a place where your greatness is believed in, people that believe in you. Right now, our community is this internet community, and this works awesomely well. It's different, but it still works. I like to quote Dr. Ernest Holmes from his book, Can We Talk to God? He says this: "There is something in us that longs for the sympathetic understanding, the kindly response, the sense of a presence which is warm, pulsating, and colorful. We must have it, and I sense that as we meet each other in love and friendship, in the warmth of good fellowship, it is God. What else could it be? The hand that gives is the hand of God. The eyes that see, the eyes of God. In each other, through each other, we contact the divine." That's Ernest Holmes. And that is so true. My higher self is connected with your higher self at all times because there's only one Remember, 1. Don Miguel Ruiz's great book, written in the late 90s, The 4 Agreements, life-changing book, truly is. One of the agreements that he suggests is that we make it with ourselves in order to live in what he calls white magic. And white magic in the Toltec tradition means a place of creating, giving, sharing, and loving. And this is the agreement, not to make assumptions. We have a tendency to make assumptions about just about anything. And the problem with making assumptions is that once we made them, we believe them. We are absolutely positive that they are real. And then we emotionally respond according to them. Just take a look right now at the political and racial atmosphere of today. Everyone assumes that they are right. Their belief systems, they're making assumptions and establishing beliefs, and they believe these beliefs are true, and we wonder why we can't get along. And Don Miguel says this, and it really feels this way to me sometimes, that we are living in pure insanity. That's why that quality of clarity is so important. This is what Don Miguel Ruiz writes. It is very interesting, he says, how the human mind works. Listen to this. This is really good. We have the need to justify everything, to explain and understand everything in order to feel safe. We have millions of questions that need answers. It is not important if the answer is correct. Just the answer itself makes it seem safe. That is why we make assumptions. We make all kinds of assumptions because we don't have the courage to ask questions. And of course, the way to stop this behavior that really doesn't serve us is so simple, so darn simple. Simply ask. Do we do that? To make sure that, to be really sure that the communication is clear, we must be open and receptive to new ideas. Remember, this is a new paradigm taking place. The old assumptions are not going to work for us. They are not. If you don't ask, you will never understand and have the courage to ask these questions until you are as clear as you can be. And even then, do not assume that you know all there is to know about any given situation. Ernest Holmes writes this in Words That Heal Today. We reach God in others by reaching out from God within the self. Always the God in others will respond to the God in us, but never beyond the level of our inward spiritual awareness. So as we are spiritually aware, the more that we can understand, the deeper that we can go. And so we ask ourselves, what belief am I holding about myself that causes me to make this assumption about another? And then we realize that that belief that we truly think is real is an assumption that we made or that had been taught to us. If we can move immediately into the questioning not only of the surface assumptions, but those assumptions that are beneath, we will move into an entirely new direction. Our relationship with ourselves and then with others will be truly transformative. And you will have the ability to create a healthy life. We will have that ability to create a healthy country, because that is what is in need of now, and that is what is taking place. It doesn't feel that way, but it is. It is. This is part of the paradigm shift that we are all in together. This is what we have been talking about for many, many years. So I'd like to end this talk this evening with a beautiful poem by a Hopi elder. It's actually a prophecy. So I'd like you to just take this in. Life is a river flowing now very fast. It is so great and swift that there are those who will be afraid, and they will try to hold on to the shore. They are being torn apart and will suffer greatly. Know that river has its destination, and all is well. The elders say we must let go of the shore, push off into the middle of the river, swim and keep our heads above the water. And I say, see who is there with you and celebrate. The time of the lone wolf is over. Gather yourself. Banish the word struggle from your attitude and your vocabulary. And all that we do now must be done in a sacred manner and in celebration. And they finish with, for we are the ones we have been waiting for. We are the ones we have been waiting for. This is our time to be the light, to shine that light, and to come together in peace, in love, and to really truly remember that there is only one race, oneness, the one human race. And so I just know that we are all united, and that as we move forward in this very important time, we are each and every one of us divinely guided. Thank you for joining me. Now I have a prayer for you. So